Hello, beautiful manifestors. It is Olivia Grace, and I'm back with another video for you guys. And today we're talking about subliminals. If you guys, I don't know, it's been a while since I've talked about subliminals, but I love subliminals. But I want to address the concern that they could be harmful. Like I know a lot of people can be fearful that, since you can't hear what they're saying, um, you don't know if they're like, I don't know, putting a spell on you or whatever the fuck. So I'm going to give you guys my opinion, and also I want to talk about how to make your results permanent because those of you guys that have used subliminals, but maybe you've gotten a result from the subliminal, but it did not last, right? So I want to address those things today. But first, I am a manifestation coach. I am offering sessions. I am offering guided stat scenes, guided revision scenes, custom affirmations. All links are in the description. So first of all, let's just address is are subliminals harmful? Okay. In my opinion, no, they are not. But the reason why I believe this is not because I trust everybody and I think that everybody is, whatever. It's because I don't believe that I can be harmed. I just don't have a belief that someone can, put a spell on me or harm me or program my mind in a way that I don't believe in any assertion into my reality. I believe that my reality is going to be the way that I want it to be. I believe that I'm always safe, I'm always covered, I'm always protected. I believe that. So therefore, I don't have any fear of people asserting into my reality or people doing things. Now, I will say there was a subliminal person who literally said in his description that if you're a person that has ever um, basically like ever said anything mean or left like a mean comment or did anything to him, then he puts in his subliminals that based like a hex or something. I'm laughing and it's not like the thing is, you guys, yeah, sure, curses, hexes, all that stuff is real if you believe that, okay? It is all about what you're believing, you guys. Um, and especially when we're kind of new into the into the spiritual community, I feel like most of us come into the spiritual community because think about it, we're fresh out of a very closed-minded way of being, a very closed-minded and fearful way of being and thinking. And so we come into this spiritual community, and a lot of people initially bring all that with them. This is where the people are like, oh, the government, and they're trying to get us, and the demons, and the all of these, the aliens, and all this stuff. And I'm not saying that none of that is real, you guys. But what I'm saying is, you are creating your reality. Okay, you are creating your reality. So if you don't want to experience or intermingle with negative entities or negative things or whatever, you shouldn't be giving any attention to that. You know what I mean? That's kind of a because it's not funny, but people that are all into that feel like they're liberating themselves. They're liberating others by letting them know, like, hey, these people are all out to get you, and the world is terrible, and everybody's out to get you. But us in the law of assumption community, we know that we are creating with our assumptions. So if you assume that there's someone out here trying to get you, then there's going to be somebody out there trying to get you. You're gonna experience that. Your experience is always going to be validated by your assumptions. Okay, so I say all of that to say that if you feel comfortable with subliminals, if you're not afraid, use them. Even with the guy that I told, his name is Slade, by the way, in case you guys want to like avoid him. I mean, nobody's saying anything. I'm sure none of us are saying anything negative about him, but just the fact that he would put anything like that in his subliminals. But to be real, y'all, I still use subliminals because I don't care. I don't care. I'm not afraid, you guys. Like we really are able to let go of the fearful vibe. We don't have to be afraid, y'all. You don't have to be afraid of anything unless you think you have to be afraid of it, okay? So, now what I will say is if you do have a fearful vibe, work on letting go of fear. There's nothing to fear in your world. There's nothing to fear in your world. But if you do have a fearful vibe, work on letting that go. But in the meantime, I would say don't use the subliminals, okay? Because if you have a fearful vibe, you may have fearful and negative experiences, you know? I remember I had posted a meditation in a Neville group on Facebook, and someone came on there like attacking me, like, you can't post this, like, because it had binaural beats on it. And she was like, this is harmful and it gives you headaches. And every time I listen to binaural beats, I get headaches and this is harmful and this is misinformation. And I was like, dude, maybe that's just your experience. I've used binaural beats like for 8, 9 years now, and I've never gotten any negative experience from that. And but she was like, no, you're spreading like people take their experience as fact, as number one truth, but it's just not. Okay. And if you're kind of in the middle between you're like you're not sure or whatever, um, then I would just use subliminal communities that have a lot of subscribers, that people, I always like to check the comments. If people are getting results, then use those like Beauty Crystallized, Subliminal Goddess, um, Ectopia. There's a whole bunch, you guys. I mean, I don't care. I listen to whichever one I want to. So I don't care. Um, Now, what I will say though is a lot of times we'll get the result from the subliminal, but the result will eventually fade away. And it seems like, okay, I have to listen to the subliminal every day for the rest of my life. But what it is that you have to also make the identity shift, you guys. Okay, so for instance, if you're using a weight loss subliminal and you find yourself, okay, losing weight, you're losing the weight, whatever, then you stop using the subliminal and you stop losing the weight. It's just because your identity, although the subliminal is going to your subconscious and it's shifting your identity, if your dominant thoughts go back to, oh my gosh, I struggle with my weight, oh my gosh, you're afraid, you have a fearful vibe, like y'all, fearful vibes, when they talk about how you create what you fear, it's because you put so much energy behind it. But if you still have that fear of, oh my gosh, I'm going to gain weight, or maybe you're using it to change a specific like facial appearance or facial feature or whatever, and whatever, but you want to have the identity shift that this is what I have as well. And that's something that I noticed was I was kind of using subliminals like um, I was kind of using subliminals in place of shifting my identity and in place of shifting my thoughts. So although I would get the result, my identity, my thoughts still hadn't changed. So I would go back. So just be sure that you are also you are shifting. Don't feel dependent on the subliminal is what I'm trying to say. Realize that the power never leaves you. You have the power. You decide who you are now. And I noticed too, when you're in the end, you don't really feel the need for subliminals. But they are extremely helpful in my opinion. They're extremely helpful in the in between time, especially when you're trying to do something like change something physical or even something that maybe is been difficult for you. Okay. So I intend that helps. I know that it does. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.